What's up, everybody? Welcome to Blood and Breakthrough with Tony and Clark here. And today we've got a really special guest. We've got Mr. John Tiegen, aka Tig, one of the Benghazi heroes, dude. This is going to blow y'all's mind what he's got to say. How you doing today, Mr. Tig?
I'm on the short bus special though.
So, Tig, one of the last times I saw you, you tried to drown me. You want to talk
No,
about that?
you fell out of the boat because you can't stay in a boat.
No, that's not even. Listen, we were floating along just fine, and I saw you look at me, and then you went, and down we
No,
went. I actually thought I was gonna die.
we all flew out of the boat.
Yeah, we did.
Good
We did. I think
times,
you
man.
actually rescued me also, so I
But
guess we're
I did
okay.
pull her under for a few minutes.
Yeah,
You did.
yeah.
You did. I was in the bathroom blow drying my eyelashes under the little
I was trying to save
dryer.
myself, so I was kind of standing on top of her a little bit.
Yeah. Kind of the Titanic thing, like with the door. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
what's
I'm
up.
still going through support services for that. So, anyways, moving on.
it happens.
All that training came in handy, didn't it? Heck yeah,
Heck
man.
yeah.
Well, man, I guess we'll just jump right in. So, what made you want to be a Marine? Where'd all that? When did you decide you were like, I'm going to be a Marine. I'm going to join the military. I'm going to make things happen. When was that?
I think it was like around elementary school. Lived across the street from a recruiting station, so it's kind of where I hung out pretty much all the time. You know, like quite a few kids didn't have parents. Well, I had parents, but didn't have parents at the same time. So we always
Yeah.
kind of went out. I mean, it was the army, but still military-ish. So initially, I wanted to actually fly Apaches. So I wanted to join the army initially. But growing up, pretty much everybody in my family had glasses, and getting the vision went, had to wear glasses. And that time, you couldn't fly if you wore glasses. They didn't even. I don't think LASIK was even a thing really then, anyways.
Yeah.
It was probably around junior high. It was like, all right, finally, I was going to go in the Marine Corps. So again, pretty young age,
Yeah. Heck yeah,
really.
man.
And again, it was just infantry. There really wasn't. It was really Full Metal Jacket is kind of what did me in for joining the Marine Corps.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. Yeah. I
Okay.
bet it did.
So
Dang right.
what made you want to go into contracting?
So it was the ex-wife. She was actually overseas. She was in the army, and I was doing heating and air conditioning. So it really wasn't about the money. And she was over there, and I really hated doing it. Getting money was really good, but just didn't really feel like something was missing.
Mm-hmm.
So she was over there, found out about this one of the contracting companies called CSA, and she just before she left to come back, and she was getting out, she got their contact information, and then we both kind of just set our resumes in, and we both actually went overseas contracting.
That's
Okay,
awesome,
I didn't
man.
know that.
Yeah, so my uncle and my granddad, they were with Dynacorp back in 99, 2000, 2001, I believe. And I know the Blackwater guys that were over there. So he said that they didn't get along with the Blackwater guys. I don't know what happened. I think it was in like 2001 or something like that. But was it always like that? Do the contractors always butt heads with each other, or y'all just you're all there working together? I mean, how does that go?
You always hear about things. Usually it came down to like who made more money.
Yeah.
That's really what it was. A lot of the Blackwater guys, again, each contract was different, even with the same company. So, but again, like some of the Dynacore guys and stuff like didn't make as much money as like the Triple Canopy and Blackwater and stuff like that, because of the contract. Like the initial one I was on CSA, which again that was something like Halliburton crap like that. You only make like $14 an hour.
Man.
Dang.
Yeah. So again, like I said, it wasn't really about the money when I started contract.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Dang, that's
So,
crazy.
but a lot of time it was that, but I was there. I did a year with that contract doing security, and then, started researching the other companies that were, because it was hard to get information unless you're over there, especially in the beginning. Once I started figuring out, looking at the other companies, you had to be very careful because a lot of these companies were fly by night, and they would take anybody and everybody. They were just all about the money. Because again, some of the contracts they would pay you like 90 grand a month, but a lot of those
Wow.
dudes never made it home, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, but a lot of people don't realize it was like 5,600 contractors that were killed. So
Jeez.
there's a lot. And so you had to be careful. And then obviously Blackwater, they really hit the news pretty much about the time I applied for them. So didn't know what you're going to be doing, didn't know who you're going to be working for. You just kind of just send in your resume and either they accept it or they don't. And that's kind of how I started. So my contract with CSA ended in 2004. And then I went into the training for Blackwater like around just after July when I got home. I think it was July, March. I think I was home for a month or two and then went to Blackwater for the training and then started contracting with Blackwater.
Right,
okay.
man.
So at what point did you start working with GRS?
I think it was about 2007. I think my first was Iraq, July 2007.
Now, what is GRS? Explain that.
It's just like global response staff, really, is what it is. You're just, you're just a PSD, personal security.
Yeah.
For the CIA, stuff like that. So, you do other people. You do like the directors of intelligence and all that other stuff. I'm not just CIA, but we've even done a couple of generals here and there.
Yeah. That sounds about like what my uncle was doing whenever he went, because I know he said at one point they were protecting the U.S. ambassadors and stuff like that. So that sounds about the same, man. Yeah, he had a couple
that's
crazy
the
stories.
Contract, but yeah.
Yep.
Definitely, so I know that you actually helped write the book, the 13 Hours book. Were you involved in the production of the movie at all?
We all were pretty much. Even Jack, a lot of people don't realize that. Boone, not really too much, but he was a little bit. But yeah, we went actually met with Michael Bay in person. He had a pretty cool little 3D model layout, and I kind of walked through step by step what we did and stuff like that, and went on set for about 10 days. But of course, you sign your life rights, so you have no control, pretty much of the movie, in some aspects, because like the rooftop scene, they were going to put a lot of that stuff in until I pretty much told them I was going to walk away from it.
Wow.
So yeah. So I talked to everybody all the way up to the president of Paramount and hung up on all of them. So it was actually Jack. I think it was about 4 days later. Jack called me and said, "Okay, they're going to put you on the roof. They're going to show the boys getting thrown off the roof and stuff like that." Because initially they didn't want to put it in there because it didn't flow right. Like, that's not my problem.
Yeah. That's not the story.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Again, the movie about 50% accurate, I would say. A lot of stuff happened, just not really in that way. There's no major explosions, no bus blew up, no vehicles exploded. I never saw any weapons buying, transferring crap like they had in the beginning.
Okay.
Anyway,
how was the community toward you while you were in Benghazi?
Yeah, pretty friendly. Probably one of the friendliest places I've ever been.
Really?
Besides Lebanon. Yeah. Yep. They would buy us, because it was right after, when I went, I think we had just killed, well, we didn't, but the locals had finally just killed Gaddafi. And so when I was there, it was really friendly. You get stink eyes from probably less people than normally. You'd get more. But they'd buy your lunch, because we'd go out in town and eat at the restaurants and stuff like that. They'd come up, shake your hand. They'd even buy your food and stuff for you. So very, very respectful. Yeah, it was a very comfortable place. They liked that we were there. We were spending money, the government spending money left and right. But yeah, we never had really major issues personally over there. You'd run into certain things, but for the most part, pretty friendly. I would say maybe kind of like going through Chicago as a white person, kind of friendly. How's that? Can I say that?
You can say that.
Yeah, we can say whatever, man. Like the honesty, dude. So look, whenever y'all got the call, hey, we're under attack. Like, what was your first initial shit? What was it where you just, all right, game time, let's get it done? What?
So the initial call came to us as just like, hey, GR's team members to the team room, and it was just like that, pretty calm, which is good. It's not, you don't want to. Anyway, so and when I met with the team leader, kind of in between the two buildings, he's like, hey, the consulate's been overrun. So a lot of people don't like. You got to realize it. Not that it's being attacked. People kind of miss that part. It's already been overrun by the time we even know about it.
Dang.
So a lot of people miss that part of it. That's how fast that happens. For them to sit there and say it was a protest.
Yeah.
No, never was.
Wasn't quite the case, man.
No,
Dang.
not even close. So yeah, it was one of those like quick oh shit moments. Ran back, we got ready to go, and we were ready to roll in like probably 5-10 minutes, something like that. Because Jack, he was talking with his wife, on the laptop, just found out he was having another kid on the way. And then, I was just in like PJ bottoms and that was it. So running back and just getting ready, it took a little bit of time. So again,
Yeah.
5-10 minutes time in that frame. So
Dang,
So
man.
was Amal really a character?
who's a mall? I don't remember the movie too much.
Okay, so he was the guy. He wasn't supposed to be in combat whatsoever. He was a translator.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah. Turtle.
okay.
Translator. Yeah, he looked
Yeah,
like,
and they have him come up and he's scared shitless. He puts on his little helmet and gets all geared up and it's
so
actually
literally-
really funny.
It is. So picture a guy, again, he's a small guy, so he's short. He weighs about $1. So
Man.
just picture that he's wearing an extra large body armor and extra large helmet because we don't have anything small enough to really fit him. So he literally looked like a freaking turtle. What's that? There's a guy who was that. I wish now it just popped in my head. It's a movie.
That movie, The Master of Disguise, where
Yeah,
he's
he's
like
a turtle.
Yeah,
That's what he
yeah.
looked
He
like.
looked like that.
So picture that guy.
Yeah.
Oh my
We'll put that
God,
up on the
that's
screen.
great.
Yeah.
Really good
Yeah.
team.
With a really
That
good
is.
tan. Yeah, I just remember the scene. They were like, Amal, get out there. And he's kind of like coming out of the car and get covered.
Yeah.
That was the funniest thing ever to me.
Yeah, that was
Can you
true.
can you talk about what was February 17th?
So 17th Feb was the 17th Feb's Martyr Brigade. It was they got the name because that's the day they overthrew Gaddafi. That's when it started, and
Okay.
they were just pretty much locals initially that kind of came together and called themselves that. It was just a militia, or kind of like what I explained it, taking the Crips and Bloods and put them together. So you had a bunch of different factions that came together and did this. So you couldn't really trust them, didn't know who they were. They weren't really trained. Again, some of them never touched a gun before, even when because they were designed they got hired to protect the U.S. consulate, or at the time it was technically the embassy. They were kind of doing the outer perimeter because initially they had a ton of contractors. I think they had like 24 to 30 at one point on that compound. And then obviously when I was in Tripoli in Libya the first time, I was on the team that went up to Tripoli, opened up the CIA compound and found a new embassy compound. So when I came back the second time, I went to Benghazi. That's when they're starting to shut down the embassy there and they started moving guys up. So 17th Feb kind of became the primary security and quick reaction force in case they got hit. So that's really what their job was.
Okay.
So what about, okay, so a lot of people, obviously there's a lot of stuff that go, with the whole Benghazi story. But one of the main things that everybody was arguing over was were y'all told to stand down? They said, oh, we didn't say that, but did y'all get the call I know y'all got the call to suit up and get in there, but did they tell y'all to hold off or stand down at any time or no?
Yeah, so Bob told us to stand down. So and I was the one who he told it to. So, first-hand account.
Yeah.
No second hand. I got two. But anyways, so we're in there getting ready. Initially we got ready. Tonto goes up and says, hey, we're ready to go. And we got told to wait. Totally understandable. We're thinking, in our minds, we're going to link up at 17 Feb or another local militia. And we've never, worked with them, trying to contact them. We got language barrier. That's why we grabbed the Terp, because we thought we were going to link up with 17 Feb. And so we're kind of sitting there, and then time goes by. I don't remember what the timeline was, but I think it was Alec, the State Department guy, gets on the radio and says, hey, they're lighting the buildings on fire. So that's when I get out. And it was Bob, Hush, and the deputy chief of base was just sitting on the front porch. And I yell across, I was actually on the driver's side, so they're on the opposite. I said, hey, we're losing the initiative. The guys are digging in. It's going to take us a lot harder and probably a lot more of our own lives to actually get on the damn compound. And Bob looks at me, says, stand down, you need to wait.
Dang.
But people say, well, yeah, he told you to wait. But the thing is, they don't understand who Bob is. They never worked with the guy. But even like a commander tells you to stand down, wait, you're not fucking going. It's usually what it is. But Bob, that means you're not going to go, period. So there was multiple incidents that happened. Even if you watch the movie, that's another example. That's why we put it in there. We had 2 GRS guys that were held up at the Ansariya checkpoint, which is the same terrorist group that attacked the consulate. And they're probably about 30 minutes away, I'll say, from where we were. And we were told to stand down. And they were held up at gunpoint. The consulate was attacked prior to this one, and I was there because it was attacked twice prior to 9/11. I was there the second time got attacked. There was only 2 security personnel at the consulate at that time. I think it was about 1:00 in the morning. Again, we got ready to go. Bob told us to stand down. We weren't going. The U.S. and the British ambassador, he was there. They would fly in, do a mission, then fly back to Tripoli. So they flew in. They did an op. They were coming back to the consulate. They got hit. They knew their GRS because it's pretty much the same thing. They're GRS, British GRS. So they called our guys and said, "Hey, we're being hit." I mean, they were getting contacted. I mean, it was an RPG, nailed the vehicle, and then they got guys coming in on foot, small arms. They were trying to kill them. Bob told them to stand down. The difference is they had a strong team leader there at the time that told Bob to sit down, shut the hell up, you're not in charge, I am. Because anytime a security situation comes up, technically the GRS team lead takes charge. Bob, I mean, base, they're in charge of the base. We're in charge of security, so they can't fire us. That's why it's separated. So again, they told them to stand down. Team leader said pound sand, and they are the only reason that they survived, because nobody else was coming.
Jeez, man.
So one of the guys almost died. He got some pretty good shrapnel because the RPG actually hit the vehicle, exploded, so they were just dead in the water. So again, that the stand down was given. It came from Bob, nobody else. I've never said it came from Hillary. Because I don't know. Some people say, the military was told to stand down, which that part is true because, well, I'll go back to the Bob stand down. What I found out at the 10-year anniversary mark was 17 Feb told Bob about a week prior that if anything ever happened, they were never going to come and help. That night, Bob actually got a hold of them before we were ready to roll. They told him, no, we're not going to come and help. You're on your own. So that stand down was a stand down.
Dang, man.
If we didn't leave on our own accord, again, we left, had to stop and wait for their team leader because he said, no, I'm coming. We're leaving without him. We don't need him. We got the linguist. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
So a stand down was a stand down. I don't care what anybody wants to say investigation wise. The thing is, they knew this information from the investigation and still said we lied about the stand down.
Yeah, they knew it from the beginning.
Yeah. So as for the other stand down for the military, that goes back to Bob and Hush. When we went over and rescued the State Department guys, they were reporting all the attacks and what was going on. Well, when we rescued them, brought them back to our compound, Bob or Hush were no longer reporting what was going on. They were actually downplaying the situation. So we got attacked. I think it was at 12:30 in the morning. And that wasn't reported, but then it was the Charleston, it was a medical bird. I got a hold of the base and said, hey, we got a medical bird standing by. We're going to fly into Benghazi. And in a response back, it was from Hush, said, no, we don't need you. Everything's good. This was after we had just got attacked pretty much, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. It's been pretty much our 4th attack. But our first one on the annex. So again, that's why, because everybody thought it was done. The drones were overhead. Well, they drone, but they weren't watching us. They were watching like the perimeter and stuff. They were actually watching more what was going on at the consulate because there's like hundreds of people there. And so they didn't see the attacks that were going on our compound. So the military thought everything was done. Everybody back in the States thought it was over. So that's why they told everybody stand down, go home. So again, I don't blame Hillary for that part. I just can't because nobody knew because of Bob and Hush. But overall, is it her fault? Yeah, because again, a consulate was attacked twice prior. The security teams were requesting for more support, more equipment, more people, and always got denied. So if it was more of a hard target, it never would have happened.
Yeah.
And she's the one that denied the aid, correct?
Well, it was Charlene Lamb that did.
Okay.
But again, that was her. I mean, just the emails alone was showing how involved she was with the whole situation.
Yeah.
Right.
How she didn't know the requests were coming through. Again, you're the lead. That's your job. And the fact that I got attacked twice prior to that, and you had an ambassador coming in, why wouldn't you be paying attention to
Yeah.
Right.
that? Yeah.
And then as far as like the number of combatants, like the number of bad guys that were attacking, is that as far as the movie go? I mean, but was that pretty accurate too, or were there like a lot more than the movie portrayed, or did it kind of
I'd say less.
less?
So our compound. So there's a lot to this damn story, but so a different group attacked the consulate, then another group attacked us. So totally separate attacks. They weren't part of
Yeah.
the same groups, nothing like that. From video footage from the consulate and the drone, it estimated anywhere between 100 and 150 at a time.
Daggone.
So at ours, again, this just from our video camera and stuff like that, and just what we saw trying to piece together. Again, it could have been more, could have been less, but I would estimate probably about 20 to 30 guys per attack. Because like in the movie, it's wide open, right?
Yeah.
In reality, no, it wasn't. About 50 yards outside of our back gate. Actually, I think I got pictures of it still somewhere, but there's a lot of coverage. And there's a bunch of trees. There's some buildings over here. So they had a lot of concealment moving up to us. We really couldn't see them. I didn't have night vision goggles. The other guys kind of did, but still, you can't see through stuff with night vision. And they weren't, So for me, and even for them, you're waiting for pop shots. And that's what you're shooting at. Because it wasn't like in the movie where they're just wide open. That'd have been great.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like eating popcorn, pull the trigger and eat some more popcorn, But I mean, it's hard to say. But at the consulate, it's more proof that it was 100, 150. But at our compound, it's just I'd say 20 to 30 each attack.
Yeah. That's a lot, man. I mean, that's wild, dude. I'm so glad y'all made it through that. I mean, that was
Again, you're only looking at four of us being involved in each of those attacks, even over at the consulate. It's just kind of the same thing. It wasn't like all 6 of us were like, wow, no, it was like 4, and that was it, 4 at a time.
dude.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably could have shot, but why risk it? Because they'd be shooting right over the top of our head at our backs. It'd have been.
So out of the 6 of you, who would you say was like the leader?
I mean, obviously, Roan was a team leader.
Okay.
He was the official team leader, but for us, it was more Roan was the team leader. But other than that, you don't really have, I would say, like leadership like you do in the military structure wise. It's just like information flow is really what the positions are. Other than that, you're all equal, and you try to whiteboard everything you can, so when something happens, you're kind of prepared. Rome was the medic, stuff like that. So you do have certain situations where this guy does actually this, but other than that, you're all in the same field. So lead role, less role, there really wasn't a higher or lesser role than anybody really there.
Yeah. You're all handling business. So with that, this situation right here, man, the Benghazi thing, obviously you've got a lot of experience. You've been through a lot of stuff in your life. So was this the craziest time that you've ever been through? I mean, obviously it's pretty intense. It's kind of hard to top it. But were there any other times that there were situations like this that were?
I would say there's more intense moments, but they didn't last as long.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're fairly quick, done within an hour or two. But this one was kind of continuous.
They stretched it out on y'all. So is there anything that you've never told or you've never spoken on or I guess that you can speak on anything about the whole Benghazi thing that like just a moment, a thought you had or anything at all? Is there anything like that you've never put out there for the world to hear that you'd like to say or no? Yeah, I figure, you've done quite a few little, interviews and stuff like that. We didn't think there were. We had to ask, though. We was hoping there might have been something, but yeah.
Well, like the prayer I did on the roof, that's not what I said. But again, that's to me, what I said is what I said, and that's going to stay between the 3 of us and the Lord, and that's it.
Amen to that, brother. Amen.
So actually, what came out, the prayer actually is what the author.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think my favorite quote from that movie, do you know which one I'm going to say? The one from Boone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the gods, all the heavens, all the hells are within you. Coolest line ever in a movie, for sure.
Dude, I bet that plane ride home after it was all said and done was pretty. Talk about relief, right?
Which
Whenever
one?
everything was. Which one? I guess whenever it was all over and you actually left from Benghazi and you were finally, was it kind of just, I mean, I imagine it was pretty relieving, wasn't it?
It was, but when we left Benghazi, we were still going into Tripoli. We didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, again, you just don't. I mean, they could contend. Nobody really knew what hit. They didn't know if something else was going to happen up there. But I think once we left Tripoli, that was more of like, okay, now you can relax.
Yeah. Dang right.
Yeah.
So if you could have 5 minutes with Hillary Clinton uninterrupted, what would you talk about?
I probably wouldn't even walk in the door.
Didn't you guys, weren't you supposed to have an interview like 10 years ago or something, and she backed out at the last minute?
So we got an award from State Department. I forgot which. It's the Valor, or I don't know. Can't remember which one. But so we got the award. We got invited to the ceremony, and they actually bought their plane tickets and stuff. We didn't have to pay for our plane tickets for that. But the day before the event, when technically we were supposed to get on the plane and leave, we got told that you're on. So we got invited to the award ceremony.
Yeah.
I think that's because a lot of us were kind of, it was coming out in the media about, mainly it was Tonto, but still kind of being very vocal about what was going on, the fake protests and all that crap. So I think that's another reason we probably got uninvited.
Yeah.
It is what it is, whatever. So unfortunately, I do have an award that's signed by Clinton.
Yeah, well.
Yeah,
you deserve a lot more than that, man. So how many people were lost in Benghazi? So as far as how many people didn't make it out that day?
Oh, for American wise, it was 4 Americans: the ambassador, Sean Smith, and Glenn Doherty and Tyrone Woods.
Yeah.
So, but as for the locals, I mean, some of the locals got killed too, trying to help and protect and stuff like that. So it's hard to say. I mean, we don't really know who was friendly and who wasn't.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe they kill a couple of their own guys too. That'd be great. But
yeah, really, man.
Was this really the signal?
I didn't see it. I have no idea.
Okay.
Because he was at the front gate. I mean, I don't see why he would lie about it.
Yeah.
Again, you got to identify the guy somehow, so why not?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we had no real communication. We didn't. I mean, the case officer who found him did. But other than that, I mean, that's the only comms that we had. So,
I want to know about the CIA, man. So, did you ever do, like with the CIA work, did you ever do like have to wear disguises and stuff like that? Kind of like we see in the movie. I know it's a cheesy question, man, but just got to ask,
Yes, but they're not like the movies at all. It's probably like B-rated movie kind of equipment.
Oh, man, really? I figured it was better. I was hoping it was better.
No, there was no Jason Bourne cool guy stuff at all.
Or like Mission Impossible, where they make the mask, it spins around and
that'd be epic, right? No, I mean, we didn't have the cool little throat mics and stuff. We didn't have none of that cool guy there. I mean, it was just plain Jane, cop Motorola crap. So, not even the cool key mic. Unclip the radio, talk, reclip it. So that's how cool we were.
Dang, man.
Everything I know is a lie. You try to dress up as a Haji as the best you could, but it was only really designed to go by in a vehicle and them just kind of give you that split second for them to like, okay, maybe I won't flip the trigger. That's really all it was.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, my white face, I'm not high.
Yeah. Stick out.
How much paint I try to put on, I'm not a makeup artist, so
it doesn't.
Hey,
yeah.
I've seen you get makeup applied though.
But I looked good then, but I wasn't doing it.
Hey, how did y'all two meet again?
So we got invited to be a part of a music video production for Ryan Weaver. And it actually kind of retold the story about Benghazi. So I met Tig that day, and it was so embarrassing because I actually showed up full kit, and and these guys were wearing like shorts and t-shirts, and I stuck out like a sore thumb. It was
like fully decked out, camo and everything.
Full kit.
She was like Jane and shit.
It was so embarrassing. So
I started,
yeah.
so I started calling her princess.
Yep, he did.
Princess.
He did.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, it was good times. Do you still talk to Tonto?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we're gonna probably try to see get together and do like a 13-year thing in September.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll
we'll
be
see.
cool, dude. So what do you do now, man? Like, what's life look like now for you?
Well,
I guess you retired from the CIA and stuff, right? Like, you don't mess with the CIA anymore?
I definitely didn't retire because I'm not getting no money. But I'm not doing it no more. I'm actually I'm firearms instructor over at DCF Guns in Colorado Springs. So that's kind of I was doing a lot of speaking stuff, but the traveling just didn't really care for it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, I still do some, just not as much. To where
yeah,
at one point, I mean, I think I was doing like one almost every weekend, and it's like screw this, man. I mean, again, the money's good, but I was getting tired of it. So
yeah,
Yeah.
man.
I work at DCF Guns doing training, and that's pretty much it, honestly. So
How are
kind
the
of,
twins?
they're doing good. They're 13 now, 13 years
Dang.
from Benghazi. So
Oh,
like,
man.
so they're always a good reminder of how long it's been.
Yeah,
Oh,
Oh,
they're
that's
they're
awesome.
doing really good. So
That's good. That's
time
good.
goes by fast. That's for
Yeah, it
sure, man.
does.
I got a
I saw that
9-year-old and a
you
2-year-old.
I
Oh,
saw
go
that
ahead,
you ran for
Tonto.
mayor a couple of years ago.
yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, how was that?
It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. The hardest part was just because it was never really involved in the local, you kind of see what's going on, little things here and there. But just the hardest thing was, again, just knowing what was being passed, what was passed, what's supposed to go where, and stuff like that. That was just the hard. Other than that, it came fairly easy. I didn't really have a big team. Again, everything just came together quick. I did it in 9 weeks, where everybody else was doing it for over a year.
Yeah,
So, got about 6,500, 7,000 votes, something like that. So I think I did fairly decent. There's 12 people
yeah,
running. I was like in sixth or something. So, but all the other ones, I mean, they're one used to be the former Secretary of State of Colorado. Same, the other one was like they're all pretty much in government, been running and dealing with it. So
Mhm.
yeah.
that one he seems. I don't know if he's doing really good now or not. One of the things I have seen, he seems like he's doing all right. If I'll run again, we'll see.
Time will tell.
Yeah, yep.
Time will tell.
I'm kind of having fun just doing the training.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, really, dude. That's what life's all about. Find
But
something you love doing and do it.
I don't think people would be ready for me anyways.
Tell it like it is.
Well,
Don't shake things
well,
up.
I don't know if you watched the Instagram account. I mean, I'll go out, I'll go ahead and protesters' faces. I really don't care.
I
And
saw
if
that. That was the funniest thing
I'm
ever.
there, I'll probably do the same thing. Like, what are you idiots doing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
It's
but
pretty bad.
again, the people they want change, but then they never vote for it. That's the problem.
True that.
Oh, you're not Jesus like enough, or you don't know enough, or whatever, dude. Keep voting for the same bullshit.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's gonna be nothing's
You
gonna
want
change.
change, but
That's
you
why a
don't
lot
want
of people
change.
don't like Trump, because he's changing shit.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He's
he's
doing what he
jumping
said he
on
would do.
things, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I think the 2020 loss was a blessing in disguise. I really do.
Yeah, I just wasn't time. You know what I mean? Yeah, and then
Well,
now's
I think
now's
it opened his eyes up, and he was able to again get everything stacked, prepared, see what was actually going on, and then them attacking him personally the way they did, again, just made him even more aggressive. And I think it was a blessing.
yeah,
Exactly.
oh,
I
yeah.
agree.
It's
We
exposing
couldn't have
judges now
done.
too.
Yeah, we couldn't handle 4 more years, man. There's no way we could have made it 4 more years.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So just like COVID exposed a lot of the teachers, it seems like this is exposing a lot of the judges. A lot of people don't realize the judge election is probably more important than a lot of other elections, because the judges are the one determining a lot of what's going on, what's happening to people. And if you look at a lot of these judges, I mean, they're very liberal, George Soros
Hmm.
type of judges, and that's really where our system's getting screwed up.
Yeah,
It really is.
1000%.
But it's hard to figure out what judges stand for, what they, you just don't know, or there's only just one judge doing it anyways.
Right.
So yeah,
Yes,
it's a
it
pain in the
goes
ass, because
pretty
we
deep.
tried to do it here. It's like, my wife, she's been involved in politics. She does a lot of the school board stuff, and it was a pain in the ass to figure out who these judges, where they stand, and what how they rule on certain cases and stuff like that. So again, if you want stronger rules against criminals or whatever, you need to get that right judges that are actually going to hold these people accountable instead of just letting them go.
Yeah, exactly. The
A
whole
lot of people
system.
don't realize that. It's not always the DA. A lot of times it's the judge.
Right.
Because they get the final call too, don't they? Yeah, so what a mess, man. Well, hopefully things will change soon. You know what I mean? And you should definitely, man, I don't know. That'd be cool, dude, to see you jump on there and be mayor one day. That'd be awesome.
That would.
Yeah, no, it does. When I was out there, they kept saying, "Oh, you're the guy that lost running for mayor.
Yeah.
You're such a loser." I'm
Are you
like,
serious?
"Oh yeah," and I'm just thinking to myself, like, "I'm a loser, hon. Here you
Dang.
at a fundraiser." Again, they're just fascinating. Jumping in front of freaking vehicles. It was just freaking hilarious.
Yeah, they don't have any sense.
They don't. None at all.
Yeah.
So where are you living at now? East Coast?
Yeah, I'm in New Hampshire. My husband is one of the higher ups at Sig Sauer. So, yeah, if you ever need anything, let me know.
Send me a SIG anytime. I mean, I got the older version when it first came out, the Legion. I'll take a new one.
Yeah, we got
Send
you.
it to
Or even if you want to just come out and come to the academy, they'd love to meet you and stuff.
Yeah, come out. They sent actually DCF sent somebody out there a couple years ago to do through their week training.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
come
you
out.
should do
Let
it.
me know. I'll
You
come
should
do
do
it.
it. Okay.
DCF that.
Yeah.
Well, for back to the Benghazi thing, I would say a lot of people don't. It's kind of funny when I tell the story and I have time. I do Q&As, but when we actually when we got to finally leave from Germany to go home, we were told the night before we could leave, but we had to buy our own plane tickets home if we wanted to go.
What?
Hmm?
So they didn't even pay for our own plane tickets home. We had to buy it
Why is that?
because we're contractors.
Dude.
Even though there's military flights that go every day from Germany to home,
Yeah.
we still had to buy our own plane tickets and go home.
After what you guys had just gone through, they treated you like that.
Dude.
Yep. And again, we still didn't get to go straight home. We had to go to Langley, get debriefed, and then we got to go home.
Dang, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So did you get out right after that?
No,
Were you like, I'm done?
No, I went back 2 more times.
Dang right. Yeah.
So again, my mindset, like people, you have, survivor's remorse, anything like that. We all signed up for it. We all knew what we were getting into. We all knew the potential was a high threat. We had guys, we've had guys die before. It sucks, but for me, it's more about living and keeping them alive. If you start, pounding your own self, saying why, it kind of bashes them. It kind of puts it down on their lives as well. So, I post their names, just keep them going, saying things. So doing that's a lot better than being sad about yourself for surviving, which you should excel, not decel, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sacrifice more important than less important.
How do you cope with PTS, Tig?
I never had it.
Never had it. That's great.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
I did get a nice
really
TBI though. That was fun.
You kind of what?
You're
It's a little
insane.
fun, yeah.
Well, a lot of people are like, well, you got to have PTS. Like, no, I don't. But I had other issues. I kind of acted like it, but then when they figured out it was a TBI, figured out, okay, you can do this. So I went through a few steps to kind of help. Like headaches and crap like that were pretty major, especially for a couple of years. But
Yeah.
did hyperbaric chamber. It was like a brain scan, all kinds of little different things that helped out a lot. And then Marcus Brain Institute up here in Colorado, went there for about 3 weeks. Again, TBI. They had guys with PTS, but it was more focused on TBI issues. So did a lot of steps to kind of help myself. So, but PTS, again, every strength that I went to for the TBI, the same thing. He's like, yeah, you don't have any PTS. Never had nightmares, nothing like that.
That's great.
So
good. Yeah, dude. Big time.
I mean, I'm not saying, again, PTS is a real thing. People do suffer from it, but again, everybody can see the same situation, but they deal with it differently.
Exactly.
Yeah, how you look at it.
Exactly.
Mindset, mind frame is everything for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely say I'm lucky not having the PTS side of it. I mean,
Yeah.
it would have been nice to get the VA claim for it, but it's all right. Get that 100%. It's kind of like getting the world of big PX. People know what I'm talking about. Some people will, but
You ain't got to
If
pay
you know, you know.
property taxes or anything once you get 100%. So,
Yeah. Well, plus your kids get free college and all kind. I mean, there's all kinds of benefits to get 100%. So
yeah,
but
dang right.
yeah.
Heck yeah.
But no, I was one of the lucky guys that didn't have to deal with the PTS side of it.
Good
You know,
deal.
doing the shooting competitions way, when I was, that's a lot. To me, that was therapeutic. And a lot of guys also that do have PTS, they keep everything in. And maybe I did initially have it, but I think going out and actually talking, telling the story, sharing experiences and stuff like that helps a lot. It
Yeah,
really does. It gets rid of a lot of the emotion side of it, especially when telling the story. Beginning, I mean, hell, if you watch the Brett Baer interview, you can see where I break down. A few times after that, telling the story, yeah, you kind of do. Over the years, it's gotten less and less and easier and easier. So I think
Yeah.
the biggest thing with people, do those fire pit talks, man. Sit around the fire pit and just bullshit. Let the shit out. So I think that helps
that's
a lot.
exactly what Jeff was saying and Taos was saying about just get it out, talk about it, don't hold it in. So yeah, y'all heard it. You heard advice from Mr. Tig right here. Everybody, same thing. Get it out, talk to somebody. Just talk about it. Just get it out. So
And then, well, you got those one guys that'll go to one program, say it doesn't work, and then never go back. My theory is, again, not one thing's meant for everybody. Keep trying until you find the one that works. Plain and simple.
Yep.
I mean,
that's right.
it
Exactly.
sucks, but it's the reality of life. Everybody's brain's wired different and everything, so not one's going to fix you. I mean, hopefully you get the one, but it may take
Right.
multiple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but don't give up.
I mean, just like my TBI, I mean, I went to multiple different, things, tried multiple different exercise, whatever, what do you want to call them? And, am I perfect? No, but I'm way better than what I was.
Yeah. Dang right, man.
Well, we really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for coming on. It's so good to see you.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on, dude. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so
Yes, sir.
much.
Have a